Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final installment of Blades and Bodice Troopers Book Club for 2024. Yeah. It's our Halloween show. We're reading The Luminous Dead by Caitlin Starling.
Thank you.
And in theory, I don't know. In my brain, the theme for costumes was sci-fi horror, but I think we just went different directions, which is fine. So I don't have the book on me. Gideon from Gideon the Ninth, if you don't know, which was fun. What did everybody else do?
A very convincing one, I think.
Thank you. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I got hairspray stuff.
It's great. Well, for going clockwise, so this book is about cave climbers, cave inner persons. I don't know, spelunkers. So but they're also sleep deprived. So hence, I am a very tired cave person.
That was smart. Yeah.
Good.
Ta-da!
I love it.
I have the same costume, except I'm just like a slightly dirty Halloween sweater cave diver. I was going to be a zombie.
You're more of an amateur spelunker.
Yeah, I mean, much like our main character, I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to caves. So,
Fair.
Leah, or should I even call you Leanna? Are you Isolde or?
No, I mean, from the instant Bethany suggested this book and I'd never heard of it, when she said The Luminous Dead, I was like, so the bride from Haunted Mansion. What is more luminous and dead than the bride from the Haunted Mansion?
So you're kind of like a pun.
Mm-hmm.
You're like a wordplay.
You could play.
Yeah, well, I was like, that was my initial gut reaction, and then I was like, well, I'll read the book and see, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the bride.
I love it, and you are very prepared because you're so dark. I keep glancing over and being like, "Oh,
yeah,
just this girl on here."
I love it.
I even have my Haunted Mansion stretching room mug.
Oh, I love that.
That's like it has a cold beverage in it right now, but if you pour hot water in it, then it reveals the portrait. Like if it was
stretching. That's cool.
That is pretty cool.
Really cool.
I'll have to send you, Lynn. I've been watching a theme park themed YouTube channel, and they have a lot of Halloween content that I'm like, I bet if I lived in LA, this would be even more interesting to me.
Oh yeah, I think all day long you haven't been able to see it because it's too late, but I have a Madame Leota popcorn bowl.
Oh my god.
It actually has popcorn in it.
That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I read the right book, right?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
This book club is not sponsored by Disney or the Haunted Mansion.
No, they're all great. I love it. So, how did we do with this book? I know at least one person was not a fan, but
do you want to start?
Yeah.
She says, nervously laughing.
Tell us why you chose it, Bethany.
Yeah. Why don't we start with the why?
Oh, well, I chose it because our theme for the year is 2020 forward. So I wanted to do a horror that was futuristic, and I knew this was a sci-fi mix with that. So that was why I picked it.
It fit that brief.
It did, and it was on my TBR. So
bada bing, bada boom.
Do you want to start off with your star rating, or do you want? I mean, I'll go for it if you don't want to.
Or does somebody want to tell us what the book was about?
So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 4 stars. I can't remember, like if it was like 3.5 or a 4. But I liked it. I feel like it was not. I kept expecting it to go other directions. I think is really
or any direction
down to. Like, I don't hate what it is, but I kept expecting something more horrific than what it did. So like I liked it, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, as usual, we are going to do spoilers. Anyone in chat that doesn't know, this is going to be a spoiler chat.
There will be spoilers.
It's book club.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why we're here. So yeah, like that's kind of where I felt. It was like 3.5, 4 stars. Like I liked it. but also I maybe wanted it to go a little further with some things.
Yeah.
Well, I gave it 1 star and I felt it was generous. I wrote like so many ranty notes about it, and the last one was, man, fuck this book. So that's about how I feel. I'm excited to rant about it. And I will pass it on down to Leanna.
Yeah, I also gave it 1 star, but I didn't write anything besides 1 star. Oh no, I did write an update when I was like halfway through on Goodreads that was like, will this never end? Because it was a really long book and pretty much it was just the same thing happening on repeat and had no payoff. So yeah.
Well, Bethany, I'm sorry to make you stand alone here, but I originally was thinking 2.5, but it's been a couple days and I remember almost nothing about it because it was just so bland to me. So I think I'm gonna have to say 2 stars. It was very samey.
Yeah.
And I think I would have been more okay with it if it was YA, because that's how the characters read to me. I was not into the romance. I didn't. Yeah. It was very long. I think had it been shorter, I probably could have been more in the 3 range, but
I
this says
saw a
novella.
review. I saw a review that included GIFs, and they were talking about how they just generally didn't like it, but then they were talking about how the romance hit them, and they just used a GIF of Keenan from SNL doing like a surprise, what are we doing face? He's like, what? Where did this come from?
Yeah. Alternate title for the book is Hallucinations in Stockholm Syndrome. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if somebody it's I don't think it's too hard of a book to summarize, but does someone want to try to summarize it of Gyre and M, or how do you say her name? People who listen
Gyre.
to Gyre. Okay, that's what I was saying in my head, but I was like, is it Gear or is it Gyre?
Yeah, Gyre.
It's a stupid fantasy kind of book name. God damn it. Anyway, Bethany, you should say what the book's about because you liked it the best.
Yeah. It was, and this is a safe space. Bethany, you're allowed to like this book.
Even so, you didn't love it, so it's fine.
I didn't love it. It was like, but also I feel like I have more patience for books like this. So anyway, so
well, I think wait, before you say what it's about, was it what you expected? Like even like not
no.
in terms of quality, but in terms of like the contents, even if it wasn't maybe as good as you expected.
Not really. Like I mean,
I agree. It was this was not what I feel like they pitched us on.
No, I was expecting it to be more horror and less like just, is she hallucinating? Like I wanted more, and I think that was my main issue, is I did want more payoff from all of that than what we got. Like I get what it was. Anyway, we'll get into that, but yeah. It's so okay, so for anybody who didn't read it, it's like isolation survival suspense, I guess. It's really a survival novel, but sci-fi sort of. So it's this woman takes a job where she's going to be in this like weird suit going down into this system of caves, and when she gets down there she realizes that this job is not what she thought it was. And also we find out that she lied on her application. And so she's alone in these very weird, dangerous caves with just this woman's voice in her head. And she's an unreliable narrator. Like things get worse and worse, and we're not sure if she's hallucinating, if there's ghosts, if there's like we don't know what's going on. And she has to survive and try to.
I felt like I knew what was going on.
We're not supposed to know what's going on.
I don't think Gyre knew what was going on. No. To be fair.
And I will say something I did like.
Oh, this is interesting. That is probably.
Didn't she come from a desert planet though?
I
thought it was circular. Seems to be
like strong circular ocean currents. I mean, there is a lot of circularity in this book.
Yeah, I thought it was more like a gyroscope kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Well, they probably have the same root word.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the circular thing.
Yeah.
Well, the same Latin root.
Something good. I did like the atmosphere and the claustrophobia. That was to me the best part of the book. Like I thought that was a creepy thing. You know, I don't have terrible claustrophobia, but like I get it on planes, and it definitely like sparked some of that. I was on guard for fungi. Thank you, Amanda, for giving me a heads up that could be a thing. So, but I thought all of that was the most successful part of this book to me, like the premise and the atmosphere.
Yeah, like I get it. I get like what the book is trying to do. It's a treatise on like grief and being able to move on. Like I get what they're fucking doing, but they didn't do it well, and there's no payoff, and I have problems. So like I would have liked if they were doing this whole thing as a treatise on like overcoming grief by overcoming the cave and like really getting in there and being isolated and having to face it. Great. Love that.
Metaphor.
The metaphor. But if they did it in a novella length, I think it would have been really good. But as we have it, you can't call it the Luminous Dead and have no Luminous Dead. You just had glowy fungus and dead people, and they had nothing to do with each other.
Well, I mean, she did see luminous, what she thought were ghosts that were probably hallucinations.
She was hallucinating of mushroom water she drank for no reason, Bethany. Who does that?
She was definitely too stupid to live. Like she did not deserve to survive this book.
Oh my god. She saw
not only survived this book, but survived things that apparently no one else got that far. And I was like,
dumb luck, baby.
This was the brightest one in the batch.
I think that M said this was her like 30-something-ish attempt. So I attribute this to almost like a video game where she's figured out some of that's the in my mind that's the only reason why.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I guess for me, like it was successful in terms of like, the claustrophobia, but also the idea of having somebody else being able to control what happens to your body. Like that to me is terrifying. So I think that kind of worked for me as a scary thing.
Those things would have worked, but I thought like I kept undercutting the tension that would be built up because then their inane chatter that was too stupid for me to like deal with kept like breaking my feeling of like, oh, I'm alone and oh, that's so scary and creepy. But I was just like, oh my god, can you shut the fuck up? Like,
they bickered like YA love interest too much. Like that's what it made me feel like. I can't get this sentence out. Made me feel that it was more. It would have been more successful as YA because it felt like it was trying to undercut the horror, which would make more sense in a YA book. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I just think it's Stockholm syndrome. The whole romance. She trapped her in a cave and then she fell in love with her.
I mean, I'm not like, really behind.
Oh no, you're pretty and broken, but you're a monster. But oh no, that ass though. But also you're a monster. Back and forth and back and forth. Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I don't know that I was like fully behind the romance, but I don't know. It was interesting. Have you guys?
I think it was tacked on.
I have not read anything else from her. Has anybody else?
I had it on my TBR and now I'm like, maybe not. So
I wanted to read her because isn't her the next book because this was her debut. And I know her then she wrote like the one with the hands that's like a gothic
Jane or something.
Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Wait, what? Wait, what is that name? Because that sounds like a book I read. Is it a long title?
I think I recognize the cover you're describing.
I don't remember what it is, but it's got like the hands.
Is it called like The Death of Jane something or other?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, I have read that, and I thought it was weird. It was really weird. I kind of liked it.
I mean,
high praise.
Okay. I mean,
it was just like really like the third act.
I should probably read it because I didn't.
The third act of that.
Thank you. The Death of Jane Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah. The third act of that book is so like bonkers that like it was one of those where like I don't even know if I like this or not because I'm not totally sure I know what happened.
I can be down with that sometimes, but I heard very mixed reviews on that one. I think a lot of people did not enjoy it.
Interesting.
3-2. There you go.
But I also feel like that kind of a book is always controversial. Like people have strong feelings a lot of times about gothic horror. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah. Um, hmm. That's interesting. But I mean, yeah, I feel like this is not a terrible debut, but I mean, I see what you're saying. They read a little young. I don't know.
But I think it would have
How did
made
everybody
sense.
read this? Because I listened to the audiobook, which I don't know if that helped.
I did my normal audiobook and I had the ebook and I did both at the same time.
Okay.
I
I
just
just
did
did
audio.
plain old paper.
Mhm.
I did notice this was blurbed by Ping Shepherd, who had one of my least favorite books of a couple years ago. So I
Yeah.
think this author
Wait,
just
that
might.
name sounds familiar. What did Pink Shepherd write?
It's that one with the map fantasy where they like.
Oh, the
Oh,
cartographers. Oh,
Yes,
that was so
both of us
bad.
hated that. Yeah, both of us
I
hated
did not pick it up because of y'all's review.
it was not good. So that should have been my warning. But it does have a Martha Wells blurb on the back, so who even? And Sarah
Yeah.
Gailey.
Yeah.
I
Sarah
like
Gailey.
them a lot.
I like them a lot, but yeah,
It's okay to be wrong. They can be wrong sometimes.
they
Well,
make
They're
it.
not perfect.
I saw that
I
this
mean-
was comped to Annihilation, and Annihilation does a really good job
I was
with
gonna. Oh, come
with
yeah.
with specifically like with like the psychological aspects of like the situation you're placed in and placing the reader in the situation that the character is in. Like the situation is quite different than what we get in this book. I just mean that the ability of the author to put you in this place where you're like, I
Yes.
feel the kind of isolated unknowingness that my character is feeling right now, and the kind of like unreliability of what you're seeing and unreliability of your senses and unreliability of your own knowledge, like being transported to that experience. And that's what's horrifying, not anything like, oh, very spooky monsters, gore. It's just like that feeling of unreliability and uncertainty is like so well conveyed. And I feel like this book, it didn't need to have like big spooky monsters and a big reveal if it had done a much better job of just placing me in the horror of the circumstances of being so alone, being so reliant, being so out of my own control. Like if that had been conveyed to me in a way that felt like real and present, and like the slow deterioration of like your senses, forget mushroom poisoning, just like you would lose your mind in those circumstances, like as that goes on longer and longer. And if we had just kind of like witnessed the slow deterioration of her mental state in a way that was like convincingly done, it could have been like 6 out of 5 stars, but we did not get that.
Although it did have the same thing as Annihilation, where Annihilation is also a treatise on grief and getting over it. But I feel like it was successful because it had payoff.
Yeah, I was gonna say also it was just like that's an unfair comparison because I was
also Annihilation is like a third of the length.
Yes,
a third of the length, which probably is part of why it was more successful. But also, like I feel like it's sort of a modern classic of that kind of book, so I feel like that's sort of setting it up for failure to compare.
Yeah.
It's
No, but it's a good like kind of here's an example of like how this type of thing can be accomplished well. So it's not that like this concept is bad, because like look here, this type of thing can be really effective.
Can work. While you were saying that, I was like, I felt like the book understood how creepy and weird that romance is, that would also add to the horror of like,
honestly, that's kind of what I wanted. I was
still...
like, can we acknowledge how messed up this relation? Yes,
because that would I think actually may have made that pay off a little bit more for me if it was like, okay, you're out of this fucking cave, but you're still in the cave of like a terrible, very abusive,
which
you're in the cave of your mind.
Okay, I guess this is the thing is like, I guess I thought maybe it sort of knew.
Not all couples stay together forever. You know? I don't think
it
this is a long-lasting love affair between them.
I think it ended the way it did because the author wanted you to ship them, but knew that this was kind of like a bad romance. So she didn't want it to like seem like we were on board for this. So it's kind of like, well, we're like kind of gonna see how it goes. Like, you know, it's like hopeful, right, guys? Like I didn't commit to it, but like, yeah, it's kind of a happy ending, right?
Trauma bonding. Like they're bonded over this trauma. And then once the trauma, someone heals from it, this relationship is not moving forward.
No.
Unless someone is just dynamite in the bed. Maybe it'll last a little longer. But that's the only reason I could think of.
I will say, I think the fact that it's a Sapphic relationship does make it at least a little more interesting to me than it would have been if it was a man and a woman. Yeah. Just because there's a little bit more direct, like, projection, it felt like,
Mhm.
with the mommy issues. So
Yeah.
I wish M was a computer the whole time, because then even if like Jair was like in love or like Stockholm syndromed to this person, the only person she has with her, and it's a computer, that would be even more isolating because it definitely can't love you back. I was hoping it was going to be like AI the whole time.
Well, I don't know necessarily would have needed it to be a computer, but I do wish that she had been disembodied the entire time. That like the fact that she got to see what she looked like and like really like humanize her very early on. I was like, this is signaling to me that you kind of want me to root for this and kind of be like, oh, but even in the most unlikely, like you never would have thought that we would like ship these people, but oh look, we kind of, and like, no, we still do not. What are you doing? But like, so if it had just been this voice in your head where you don't see them and you're alone in the dark and there's just this voice in your head that is a person, I guess, but now whatever image you have in your mind of them is whatever you've concocted in your fantasy while you're alone in a cave, like that would be like, again, more interesting psychologically than, you know, here's your FaceTiming with them. Like, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. My first line of the my rant notes in my phone was Jair is dumber than a bag of rocks. So yeah, I don't think
Truly
Jair makes a lot
I
of
mean,
good life decisions.
that is true. Like I am so shocked that she survived.
Dumb
And
fucking
even
luck.
the whole thing where she cut off her arm at the end, I was like, why are you doing that? I don't
She
know.
needed the battery in the suit because it was
Yeah.
taking too much battery to like repair that she's like, just
Yeah.
cut it off.
I don't know. It was like,
But it's like, girl, you have to climb out of the cave. You only got one arm now.
But she was
Maybe
also
keep it.
emotionally dumb. Like the kind of things that she would say, and like when she'd be like, "You have to let me make my own choices." Well, how dare you let me make my own choices? Like it was just like I was like, I have no sympathy for you. I'm sorry. I know, like if we had watched you like slowly go nuts, then I would accept that at this point you're nuts. But you've been nuts from day one. Like
can't make up her damn mind.
Okay,
about
and
what she
maybe
wants.
Okay, I get that in the real world I would not actually want this to happen, but part of me was like, is it so bad that she's like controlling your body a little bit? It seems like you're not that smart and not that equipped for this.
Honey,
Like,
she's like,
maybe
you've been awake for 48 hours, you need to sleep.
Or also maybe you should have read the contract. How about that?
Maybe you should have read the instruction manual for your fucking suit. She doesn't read the manual and she has no experience. And she's like, all right, give me a stoma. Let's go. And like, oh my God, how did you not read the manual? Secondly, how is the manual not programmed into the suit? I fucking can't.
It drains the battery.
But it's okay if there's an interfering radio signal, they can just take over the suit. It's fine. That's not a safety issue.
Who did that? Probably no one. Because they never went back to it.
I feel like actually one thing I thought sometimes was the battery thing didn't make a ton of sense to me. Like it works as a way of increasing tension because the battery's draining and you need like a replacement. But I did keep thinking like, wait, but how did you get people to drop batteries?
Oh, the whole supply situation where all these like deposits of supplies. I'm like,
yeah,
if they're getting enough supplies to leave them at these caches, then why don't they just carry enough for themselves? Like, what? How do you have supplies at these drops? Like, what?
It's like a video game where you're like, okay, this is the save point.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was dumb at first for not understanding how there were supplies at these drop points, and I slowly began to realize that no, the book is really dumb. So then I should trust myself more than I trust the book.
You know what? I'm glad for this journey for you. I feel like you came out of this saying, I should trust myself. So maybe it was successful.
That was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Maybe this book is good. Who knows?
I do agree with Urza. The suit is like claustrophobia within claustrophobia, which again is a good like idea. I like that as the setup because the suit was
you had to get a stoma.
Yeah.
And like another one into your stomach. It was just like, that is a lot to wear a suit.
Yeah.
You're drinking your own pee.
Because like in every other respect, it was basically described as like a still suit from Dune. But then also we had to have the weird invasive like surgery beforehand. And I was like, okay, I don't know why
they don't do that in Dune. You can eat food.
Yeah, but also the still suit doesn't have like technology built into it. It just like
the whole like recycling your fluids and recycling like the whole is like this like closed system, and like in that sense it was like a still suit, but then also we're going to do invasive surgery because
Waste
that's
not,
more
want
horrific.
not, you know.
Yeah, because
well,
it had to
'cause
come out.
well, because in Dune they take them off to eat. They're not like it's just the water.
But like I know she has to have an out of her digestive system. But like was the suit getting rid of it, or did she have a colostomy bag that just never got changed? How did she poop? Like I'm sorry,
So
like this is where I am
at
now.
the beginning of the book it said that there was some kind of like a container that would eventually at the end of it like
But she's just gonna have a container of shit on her the whole time. This is my shit bucket.
Maybe she
I
drops
carry
it
on
off
my
at the drop
leg.
points.
So they're just shit buckets and all the drop points.
They're just rest stops, truly, in the truest sense of rest stop.
Yeah, it's sort of
If
like
you
when
open
you're
up, don't open
hiking-
the wrong box at this rest stop. It's the poop box. Don't open that one.
when you're hiking and you get to the like little lean-to or whatever that the national park has, and like there's basically just like a hole in the ground, like that. There's one of those at each of the sumps.
I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I'm like I do you can't see my eyes if you do this. But I feel like the sunglasses are definitely part of the vibe.
The sunglasses are part
Oh, the
of it.
sunglasses are absolutely
They're a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did learn the word sump.
Sump.
I learned that. I did not know that word before this book.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm an indoor cat. I don't need to know what a sump is. But
like a sump
isn't it
pump?
like a collection of water?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what? I know it because of a weird job I had once.
Tell me more.
I took a
You were
temp
splunking?
job working for this company.
Bethany was on an expedition.
The reason Bethany gave this 4 stars is because she doesn't want to say, but this is actually based on her life. And
She's like, I don't know if she was that dumb, guys.
it was really hard, guys. Okay.
No, it was a temp job where for like a loan servicing company. So like there were all these, so basically like we had to like manage accounts for all of these properties that had been reclaimed by the banks. And so like in some states that have a basement that can flood, they have to have something working, like a working sump pump, which pumps out flooding from the basement.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is why I know what that is because of like a random job I had once.
I did not.
I knew through context clues that it was every time she's in a puddle.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of sumping this, sumping that.
Fair.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I do know a sump pump. This is very embarrassing. My entire life, I always thought it was a sunk pump.
Oh.
This was like when I was a kid and I thought in this little line of mine, it was don't let Santa blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine instead of Satan. Misheard words from Mara. Okay, anyway, going on mute because
maybe this book is literally like, the friends we made along the way. Everyone's coming out of it knowing something new.
Better. I've discovered I don't know words.
But you learned what a sump was.
Mara trusts herself less. I trust myself more.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, you know what? I'm in my 30s. I'm glad I fixed it now as opposed to later. I understand.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Let me see. Okay. Okay, so here's what I said. Gyre takes a job exploring a cave that's super dangerous and shady. And then once she's in the cave, she has the audacity to be outraged that the job is dangerous and shady.
Well,
she's like, how dare you do this shady thing to me? She's like, bitch, you lied on your application and I picked you anyway. Like, this is a dangerous, shady thing. And you're like shocked.
Also, maybe if you read your contract.
You read anything ever. Like, I wasn't 100% sure she could read at certain points. How do you not read the instructions for the suit that's keeping you alive for weeks? How? Like, even just the basic parts of it. You're just like, you just said, buckle me and hope for the best.
Like
Mhm.
this attitude is an okay attitude to have on the new rice cooker you bought, but not on the suit that's keeping you alive for the
Yes,
next
thank
few
you.
weeks in isolation.
Perfectly said. Thank you.
Oh, Fabled Reader is making me feel seen in the chat. I'm not the only one who had misheard,
I
so
thought it
thank
was a
you.
sup pup. Okay.
The sup pup. See, people just need to enunciate better. Okay,
Yes.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I'd heard the word sump pump, but like I didn't know. I had never like thought about the word sump pump.
Yeah.
God damn it, this hat.
I mean, this is true. One of them lied on their CV, the other is a psychopath. I mean,
That is great.
you know,
We've decided
You
to
know?
victim blame,
I mean,
Bethany.
well, and this is the thing too, is
Yeah.
part of me feels like maybe they are a good fit for each other. Because they're both kind of
The fucking mommy issues.
Well, they have
By
they
the
have
way,
mommy issues like whoa.
mommy issues like wow. That's like your second channel.
she wrote
Not that you
that
have mommy issues.
My mental health channel is called Mommy Issues like whoa.
Like wow.
Yeah.
Like what was the deal with Jair's dad? Because she keeps saying, I gotta get away from my dad. And like they never said anything he did that was awful. He was just some guy.
Apparently, mom also had to get away from him. So,
Like, what was he doing?
it seemed like it was just like she was tired of being on a small planet and missing her and had mom issues.
But she
her dad is
specifically called out the
basically
dad.
her dad is Jerry from Rick and Morty, and that's why she needs to get out of there.
Oh no. I thought he was gonna be like there was like an abuse thing she was gonna have to overcome, like someone telling her she's not good enough the whole time, and we didn't get that. So I'm like, why the fuck was the dad even here?
We should make that the backstory because that would make the romance make more sense.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of wanted there to be like fungus zombie ghosts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
I would have loved that.
It was like Schrodinger's fungus at this point. Like you introduced it and you didn't use it to make zombies. How dare you?
Okay,
how very dare you?
It's like I didn't mind her. Like she was kind of dumb, but whatever. I didn't mind it. And like the book was freaky to me, but I was like, okay. But like, can we go farther? Is that it?
I didn't think it would be fungus zombies, despite all the chatter about that. I was like, no, I've cracked it and I know what it's gonna be. And then it wasn't anything, so it doesn't matter. But I thought because we're talking so much about how these suits are just like so intense, that I thought that all these bodies that are left there are actually still basically like functioning and operating because the suits are keeping them going. And so that they're not alive, but that the suits are like operating these bodies because the suit cannot be stopped. And so then like they're just down there like living, but it's just the suits.
I mean, that
honestly would have been a better book.
Much better book.
Would have been a better book.
Once again, we fixed the book, guys. Congrats.
Yeah.
Can I minor rant about this? I am so disappointed anytime I'm reading something marketed as sci-fi or fantasy, or like it is marketed as being speculative, and there's a possibility for it to be actual creepy crawly spooky scary, or there's a possibility for it to be a psychological horror. And every time they pick psychological horror, I feel like, give me fucking ghosts. I'm here for it. I get it if it's like a real world, whatever, people are more iffy on the paranormal getting thrown in. But like, I'm in a fantasy world. Like, give me fungus zombies. Come on. I'm here. Yeah. Like, I am here ready for this. Like,
Mara
I do
was
like
so
it when they
book.
give you like actual ghosts. Oh, there was one that was good.
I just that Mara does not like fungus whatsoever, but Mara was
she's
so
even
bored by this
pleased.
book that she was like, give me fungus zombies. It's anything.
I'll take it.
You can skim through the description and just know that there's an actual zombie. But I'm just, I don't know. I think people feel like they're being like unexpected or edge. I don't know why, but it feels like people don't go for it, or like a haunted house story. So often it turns out the house is not actually haunted. I'm like, no, like
I don't want to be haunted by the ghosts of my past.
No, I don't. Yeah, like haunt me. That's what I'm here for.
Well, I think people feel like it's elevated or something. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, I feel like any book that like is gonna be just then something speculative, and it's like, okay, so it was ghosts, but what was the point of that? So I think that also is bad. So I think like you have to have an idea for like what the ghosts or what the the poltergeist or the zombie or whatever is like thematically doing for your story, and it can and possibly should be real, like real as far as that goes, but that like it should be doing something as a metaphor, or like again like thematically resonating with what's also going on that's not speculative, like as like a mirroring of that, like something where like it resonates in a way outside of just being like, oh, it's a ghost.
But that would make it a really good book. I'm just talking about on a bare level from like an entertainment.
If you're gonna be bad, have a real ghost at least.
Well, like at least be entertaining, or like like not repetitive and boring.
Yeah.
Right? Like at least you know, spice it up. Go for it.
Okay, well, I want to recommend a book that I feel like not enough people read when it came out. It's YA, but it like does have like actual paranormal things. The Girls Are Never Gone by Sarah Glenn Marsh.
I read that and I recommended it to people recently. It's actually fun.
Oh, okay. Well,
so, but it's
like Ghost Light, as I said, it was Ghost Light.
Ghost Light. It's haunted house. Excuse me, like got a haunted house thing. It's got a main character with type 1 diabetes, which is kind of cool. You don't see that a lot.
I like the cover,
and it's Sapphic, and it's great. And not a lot of people read it. So.
It's actually really good. I just recommended that in my book about body horror, and by body horror I also included ghosts because their whole problem is that they don't have a body, so I think it counts.
It's true.
Okay, so yeah, cool. But no, I recommended that one too. It's fun.
Yeah,
I like the cover.
Anyway, it's good. It's a suggestion. Why Riley Sager doesn't usually work for interesting.
Okay, but the next comment about Riley Sager, yes, exactly. Also that.
That's and see, this is probably why I don't mind that as much in those books that do that, because to me, I'm like, okay, like spicing it up. I appreciate that at least.
It's just so out of left field.
I guess my general position is I would rather have a real ghost than not a real ghost in almost any book.
Oh,
for sure.
I don't know.
I can go either way, honestly.
I love ghosts. I
stopped watching Riverdale because it decided to become speculative, and I was like, "Wait, what? No, I did not sign up for this."
Speaking of monsters, the tunnelers. Can we just talk about them for a second?
The nothing burger that is the tunnelers?
Sure. Yes, nothing. They were like, the tunnelers are coming. Oh my God. And they were so scared of these fucking tunnelers the whole time. It doesn't show up till 90% of the way through the book. And it's just a worm minding its own goddamn business. Okay. You're in its house
real victim
making a racket. Making a fucking racket, and he's like, oh, what's this? Is this something to eat? I don't know. I'm gonna go check. It's just living its fucking life. And then Jair's like, you know what? I've got one arm. I'm gonna fight it, because she's like the most confident in herself sometimes, where she's just like, let me fight it. And then it falls into a crevasse, and I was like, it might be okay because it like lives there. It's probably fallen into other crevasses before.
I mean,
but still, I felt bad for the worm. It's just living its life.
But honestly,
if you were in his cave, it'd be fine.
Like just like with the caches of like supplies, the worm was also just, this is that level of the video game where we're now doing the like big boss fight with the worm, because that's the level that we're on right now.
I did kind of,
it's like
I don't know,
significant.
I did kind of like its description where it had like a lot of little like sucky mouths. Or did I read it wrong? I thought it had like a bunch of little like holes for its mouth. Well, not just one big one.
In general, I thought I wouldn't say the writing was like great, but I thought the writing in general was like good. Like I thought that was well described.
I know what it looks like, but like at 90% of the way through the story, when you've been talking about it the whole time, thank goodness it wasn't Schrodinger's cave worm, but like it could have been.
Yeah.
I did nothing with it. She didn't even fight it. It just fell off something.
I don't know.
Also,
I guess
like
when she outsmarted it, I kind of.
When she starts fighting it, her whole attitude is like, "No, I'm taking a stand. Like, fuck this worm. I'm gonna kill it." And it's like, okay, but why is the worm your enemy? Like, okay, I get right now it's a clear and present danger, but this whole like, "No, I'm gonna fight it," and I was just like, "What the worm?" Like.
Honestly, she was high on mushrooms this whole time in the cave.
But they
so
made
frankly,
it this
she was
big, like grandstand. This is my moment thing. Like
the metaphorical grief thing, overcoming grief and fighting back. But like
this poor worm.
God damn it, this poor worm! I was so upset for the worm.
All my vegetarian attacked by the worm.
Hashtag justice
I
for the
was
worm.
not upset for the worm.
I think
Well,
you
I
like
don't want her
Gyre
to get
more than
eaten
we
by the
did.
worm. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't
I
want
did.
Gyre
You
to
know
get
what? I
eaten.
did think I thought it was kind of interesting though too, because there was the whole mystery of like, oh, like can the worm smell humans, and is that what and like it seems yes,
Nope.
that is.
But
Well,
also,
it was. I thought it was hearing, and
And
he.
I was gonna say I
but
thought it
to
was like
that
this.
And
point,
smell.
she's been making a fucking racket the entire time.
Yeah.
So like, oh, now the worm is here. Like, yeah, well, why wouldn't you expect that? Like,
Yeah,
you're
you're
kinda asking
screaming.
for it.
No, but it's like every time she opens the helmet, it's like singing and like opening the helmet and like I don't know, like and that's why I think
Which
the
also
humans
she opened the helmet, which was a stupid ass thing to do.
it was stupid.
Why
I mean,
is she
was,
able
like,
to
she did
open
a lot
it?
of stupid stuff.
Why
shouldn't have
could she
survived.
open it at all? Why is she able to open it?
She read that part of the manual.
Why can like the suit fill up with water so you have like a little in-suit jacuzzi? These seem like things that are problems that they shouldn't be possible.
I wish that the worm, she had like scared the worm away, like when you make noises at a bear and it runs. That I feel like I would have been more okay with that. Like she didn't have
Yeah.
to die, though she richly deserved to.
No body, no death
But you know,
for the worm. That is.
I was okay. She could survive, but I felt bad for the worm.
But you know what we
just
have
I think
about,
the worm
like,
could have survived.
you know what we've talked around it, but we haven't actually talked about it, is the motivation of the love interest for this
Oh, yeah.
entire
Oh.
thing.
It's a black void where the motivation should
I was gonna
be.
say, can someone please explain? Because I really didn't. I know there's like
She has
the
mommy and
mom the
daddy
dad,
issues, and she
the
sent like
dad's
30 people to
body.
die in a cave.
I think she was hoping to get closure about whether her mom was like actually dead in the cave or
And
not.
30 people get to die for that.
That's yeah. That was what I thought, but I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
That there's not a good motivation. Like if she even lied to the person in the cave and
It's
said
a
like,
good motivation for a psychotic villain that you're not meant to root for or
yeah,
romanticize.
but I'm just saying, like, if
Okay,
her
yeah.
motivation was like, you need to find the bodies because they have scientific research we need. So now you have a motivation why you need to find these bodies that's outside of feelings. And then if you get there and you find the bodies like Gyre did, and she's like, there's no information. She's like, I lied. I just wanted to see them. Then it's a betrayal. Then you feel that. Now you're like, oh my God, you're a monster. It would have hit different.
Yeah.
No, but we had to
Than
find that
just
out
knowing
early.
that up
We
front.
had to find that out early so that we could get over it and start to like her. Because
No.
we're rooting for this relationship.
They wanted
I think it would have been
her.
better the other way. It would have been so much better.
And then when she finally does see them, she literally runs away and leaves Gyre alone in the cave. When that happened, I was like, "You guys are fucking kidding me right now."
Yeah,
know.
I was
back,
also
lover.
freaked out. Like when she like goes and gets them all, I was like, dude, I would be so freaked out to be like in the water with a floating dead body.
That's
but
like perfectly
also,
preserved.
When we are at that point in the book, that's because Gyre has been offered the opportunity to turn back and is like, no, I'm doing this for them. The bodies of the people that I don't know who I saw on video for a hot second because I promised them I'm doing this stupid mission. It's like, okay, well, then you can just die if you want to. Like,
And nothing even cool killed them in the first place. They died because a rock collapsed and then, like, there was a tunneler and they didn't even see the tunneler. Like, they just died from normal things. It wasn't even a cool thing that killed them. Like, oh no, zombie fungus. It was just, no, a rock fell. Oh my God.
The more we're talking, the more I realize M really is kind of like Jigsaw in this equation. And like, if the book had treated them as like treated M as that, it would have been a much more interesting book. Like,
again, if that's the twist at the end where you think there's a good reason to be doing this, and the twist at the end is finding out that, oh, she's just been killing a bunch of people just so that she could like get what's important to her, and she didn't care that she would kill 30 people, and that's the end of the book. Like, that would be a haunting, terrifying ending. Drop, but like,
yes. Thank you.
Once again, improving the book.
Yep.
This is not book club. This is book rewrite club.
Yeah, we workshop things here.
Also, a thought that I had when I had my Suits theory that like they were animating the bodies, but then I also thought later that maybe Gyre isn't alive either, or I'm sorry, not Gyre, that M isn't alive that M is like a preserved consciousness that's just been like kind of
I
on
thought that for
autopilot
yes,
doing this?
I thought for a
I thought
while
AI.
M was
AI or
either
something.
No, I
Peter
didn't think
or
AI specifically because I thought that M was the luminous dead. That it was a dead like consciousness that's been
Oh.
just like doing these operations because like this consciousness, like that was the last thing it wanted was to like get these bodies. And so it was like sending people in there to do that.
Oh.
Honestly,
I
better
did-
twist.
Well,
Because they
I
didn't get
didn't
it
think
twisted.
I was like, what
you
if
know what I
what if
did
M is
think,
a
though?
hallucination? What if M is a computer? Like I thought that was going to be a twist at some point that M was not just
Yeah. See,
jigsaw.
I didn't think that, but I did think the weird stuff she was hearing through the suit. I thought that maybe there was like the suit had developed artificial intelligence and was like trying to control her or something, you know?
Oh, that would have been interesting too.
Yeah.
I think I was about 2/3 of the way through when I just gave up on something happening. And I was like, all right, let's just watch what this dummy does next. She's going to drink more like mushroom water and wonder why she's hallucinating? Probably.
I was going to
That's
say
going to happen again.
you already knew what that dummy was going to do next because the same thing happened over and
How
over
do you
again.
think that's a good idea? Like, I know not, I've never even been in a cave, okay? And even if I saw fungus in water, I wouldn't go, I'm gonna drink this. I'm gonna drink this strange cave water that I don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
There were
Oh
so
my
many
God.
times when we were like when Gyre was presented with like a problem that was a problem that had been faced before, where my reaction to it was like, I thought we beat this level. Like, why are we back
We already
here?
hit the checkpoint. We hit the checkpoint. Why are we going
Yeah.
back? But speaking of that cyclical things, did anyone get like so pissed off at certain points that they kept talking about like the mechanics of clay, like cave climbing? Like, if you drill one more hole and tell me about it, I am going to jump into this book and smack you.
I mean,
Like,
that didn't bother me, but
Yeah,
like,
that was
every
stories at that point.
carabiners, and like she talked about every fucking drilled hole she made, and it's like, I get it, tell me what you're doing once and then move on. Like, I didn't need to hear
Again,
about all
that
your
would have
holes.
worked for me. A lot of those things would have worked for me if it was all kind of part of this, like putting you in the headspace of this character where their entire world is boiled down to this single hole because like there's nothing else. There's nothing else
But it
sensory.
wasn't.
There's no other sound. There's no other light. Their whole world is literally just this hole. And if that was kind of all part of them, like part of her like losing her mind because like her whole world is just this hole now, like that could be again so like such a good like psychological deterioration book. But that's
Yeah,
not
but
what
I
this
feel
was.
like the author just likes to climb and wrote a book
yeah,
about
or
it.
did a lot of research on it. Well, because that's the thing
And
is,
then,
I feel like especially
know?
for a debut novel, like doing a lot of research on a thing and not being sure how much of that to put in a book, like that is not unusual.
It was too much. And maybe an editor who is not their first time would have said something.
Yeah, I now that we're talking about this part of it, the a book that I think does some of this well that just came out is The Night Guest by Hildur Knots.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's her. She's Icelandic, and I am not sure
It's
how to
okay.
pronounce her name. It does some of that, like it has a lot of purposeful disorientation, and it has a lot of like the main character not like they're basically sleepwalking, so they don't know what they're doing, like they can't really trust their own mind.
Mhm.
But it's a novella, and I think it really, to what you were saying, Leanna, like it really effectively like shows the sort of like narrowing of your world to like obsessive whatever because you're just kind of losing it. So vibe, it's very different plot wise, but like vibe horror type wise, that was a good little novella.
You know, that was translated by Mary Robinette Kowal.
She did a great job. It's one of the better, like smoother translations I've read in a while.
Yeah.
Like
It's so
I don't
random
think you
though
would
that she like
notice.
knows Icelandic well enough to translate.
Very.
Good for her.
Yeah.
No, this was from Harper Voyager. It was not self-published.
Yeah. I agree with Beth that we have had a lot of good discussion.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing has just been like, how would we write it differently? It's been like a
Yeah.
script doctor. Like,
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing is it's like I don't really disagree with anything people are saying or like anything people are saying. I was just
but yeah, tell us what you liked about it. We haven't talked
What?
about like, tell us what you liked about it. We've just been kind of like ranting about it. Like
We've been
you
shitting
No,
on this
I mean,
book.
I don't think you're wrong. I just think that didn't bother me as much. To me, it was entertaining because it kept me, like, I found the creepy things very creepy. Like the being in the suit, the claustrophobia, the like all and like the grief thing like works okay for me. Like I wanted more, which is why it's like three after this conversation I feel 3 stars is probably more fair. But yeah, it's like but like I didn't hate it.
Lena's like, yes.
Yeah. I
Result.
mean, I wasn't like,
We're bringing you to our level.
like, I feel like none of the issues bothered me as much, and it
Yeah.
kept me relatively creeped out and entertained, and I don't know, it was fine.
It's Judge John Hodgman's #1 rule of the internet, which is people like what they like and people don't like what they don't like, and that's just kind of how it is sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I put up with a lot of things in books sometimes, but this one, I don't know, it hit different. And I was just like, oh my God, why is nothing happening for 400 pages? It was 400 pages of hallucination and Stockholm syndrome and no payoff.
I think the length of it just exacerbated any issue that anybody had with it. And then because those of us who had issues with it had quite a few issues with it. And those issues were recurring issues. And then it was 400 pages. So they recurred a lot. We were like, stop reminding me of why I hate this.
Let me help you. Help me
Amanda,
help you.
did we cover all of your ranting points?
I've been bringing them up.
Okay, good. You put so much work into that note. I didn't want it to
I
give
wrote
away.
so many notes. I talked about the holes. I'm like, if I read you drill another one fucking hole, I'm gonna go nuts. I talked about the allegory of grief and loss and loneliness and all of that stuff. Great. 90% of the way through for a tunneler and no payoff there either. And then I talked about drinking the fungus water because she's stupid. And M's motivation came up, and I'm like, there's just a black void where her motivation's supposed to be. It's not there. And then, bitch, you got your guts surgically rearranged to fit the suit, and you didn't even look at the instructions. Like, I was so mad at her for that. That was my big thing. Like, and then when she climbs out of the cave, obviously she's like very sick from damage to her suit. Her arm is cut off. She is hallucinating. She is tripping balls in this fucking cave, okay? And she's taking off the suit, which is something that happens in like delirium states. And then M comes and gets her in the cave, but she's just naked, stoma out in this fucking cave, and she's okay.
Like, well, she wasn't naked. She took parts of it off. She didn't take
I feel like she took it. She ripped the thing out of her stomach though, so I thought she took it off.
There's just so many reasons why she should be dead.
She just had her holes out in a cave. Like, she's getting fungus in her holes. And like, how is she all right in the end? Like, I was like, wow, they had really good like
analytical, really advanced medical care, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. And she is without an arm, so she didn't emerge from this fully unscathed.
No.
I know, but that was one of the lines I wrote. You're like, you're just laying here stoma out, and we're supposed to just expect you're okay.
I like to imagine her as like the cold, like the cold and dark version of Anakin at the end of The Revenge of the Sith, where he's been left by the lava and is screaming, "I hate you," and he's burning and he's missing an arm. But it's like that, but like instead of fire, it's just like a cold, damp cave, and it's a woman. And yeah.
Oh,
okay.
The vibe is there, but the different everything else.
The unhingedness of it.
The unhingedness, yes.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
And we still don't really get any payoff about her mom.
Sapphic nun horror. That sounds fun.
That does sound like fun.
I guess that's the thing. Like, I would read other things from her.
Oh, my sweater is from the Petite Knitter, not to be confused with Petite Knits. Those who know. The Petite Knitter. It's got scaredy cats on it.
Yay.
Because it's Halloween.
We're not the Judean People's Front, we're the People's Front of Judea.
I now want to go into You Don't Have a Womb, Stan, but yeah, anyway, different stream.
I think you mean Loretta.
That's true. That is true. I've seen some interesting videos from trans women about that whole part of that movie. It's very interesting. Anyway, Life of Brian, recommended to you next Easter.
Or anytime you feel
Or
like
really
it.
anytime, yeah.
Anytime you
Christmas
feel
is
like
coming
looking
up.
on the bright side of life.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't mind them dropping dong.
Bright
True.
side of life.
They do drop dong in that movie.
And a teeny tiny little white man ass.
Well, I mean, look at it's Monty Python. Like I wasn't expecting great asses.
No, that's not what I go to Monty Python for.
Yeah.
No.
For an ass you can bounce a quarter off of. Monty Python.
I mean, I expect them to make asses of themselves, but not in that sense.
Yeah.
That-
Now,
Oh.
have we? I just realized this is the part where we would normally say what book we're reading next, but I don't think we know because I don't think we picked a theme for
Well,
next year.
Leanna's turn is next. Do we want to do? I don't know. Like, I feel like the 2025
25 stay alive. Stay alive 25.
because I feel
Yeah.
like it would give us a lot of flexibility. We could pull from different genres.
Yeah, and it
kinda
kinda
sorta works for the book I
matches-
want to pick. So.
Well, it
I-
matches like in 2023 we did like kind of historical.
Yeah.
This year we've done sci-fi, so
Yeah.
Stay Alive could be kind of like suspense, mystery, like
Danger.
crime.
Thriller.
Yeah.
Danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like 25 will goes west personally. I thought that was an amazing pun on my part.
Now, I do like that
It's
as a
niche
pun.
though.
And if I was not picking a mystery book and could instead make Leanna read one of my Western sci-fi romances, then maybe.
I would read
vetoing that
those.
theme.
I love westerns. I love them. I would read them. Give me smutty westerns with sci-fi.
I will. All I have are recommendations for you.
I'm so happy.
Well, do we want to go? If it matches with what Leanna wants to pick
Leanna
anyway,
has
that
a book picked out if we do 2025 to stay alive.
Well, I reserve
Stay
the right
alive
to change my
25,
mind. If I think of
everybody.
Stay
something
alive.
that- If I think
Stay
of something
alive
that's
25.
better,
I can
Let's
pick
do
it.
if I think of
I think
something
I
that
can find a book.
better,
All right.
if I think of something that better fits that prompt, I reserve the right to change my
Yeah.
mind. But
It is only October. We
Yeah.
have some time. So
But right now, what I'm thinking of picking is Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Ooh,
I don't know what that is.
I would be very
it's a
interested.
classic.
Yeah, I've.
But it's
heard
like it was
some
written, I think, in like the 80s. Like it's not like a old.
Yeah,
old
but
classic.
it's like a classical-ish.
It's
Yeah,
a
but it's not like
Australian.
Yeah,
Australian, New Zealand. Sorry, I'm so
Australia.
sorry. Yeah, okay. Australian. It's based on, I think, a true story about.
I don't think so. I think that's one of those things that people like think it's a true story, but then it's not. Is what I think.
Oh,
But I also that it could be the other way around. I'm not sure.
it's like Edwardian ladies on a picnic and things.
They're like in a
go-
girls' school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
they've made
awry.
several
I'm
movies.
Looking it up.
They made several movie adaptations as well.
Yeah.
It looks like it. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, based on a 1967 novel.
67. There you go.
I think that counts as a classic, though. It's like more than 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like
There's
that.
just classics and there's
Okay.
classics.
Cool.
All right.
And I think probably me and Bethany have the most leeway if we stick with our traditional genres because
Yeah.
I'll figure something out. I don't have to pick romance. I could pick anything.
that's
You can
true.
pick anything.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll go
Just
crazy.
something where there's peril.
Yeah.
Yep. I
You could
if
pick a
wanted to
70s
do
book.
romance. You could do like a romantic suspense or something. But yeah, you could do whatever.
Staying alive. Yeah.
It'd be fun. Oh, series with Natalie Dormer. Interesting.
They've done multiple adaptations. Of
Will
course
we
we're gonna keep dressing up.
Yeah.
That's the whole. I mean, the book.
Oh, yes,
the book
so I
is
was thinking-
incidental.
I was thinking that because it takes place at a girls' school, or it's a
Oh.
girls' school that goes to on this picnic, that like you could take it, you could dress like for the period that it's supposed to take place in, but also just like anything that's like, a boarding school, like whatever,
yeah.
however you want to interpret that, like could
It
be-
gives me. I've been meaning to make one of
or
those
a
like,
picnic. You
pretty,
can dress for a picnic.
Edwardian blouses. So maybe this will give me an excuse to do that.
Yeah.
Little
That'd be
Gibson
fun.
girl sleeves. with
Yes. Yeah, with the
slip
like
off.
the pigeon.
I was I
chest.
was in Hello Dolly. I was Ermengarde.
Oh,
So I had the little puffy
The-
sleeves. And the wig that looked terrible. Like I had so much hair on my fucking head in this wig. It was bananas.
Well,
But yeah,
if it's on
give the girl.
stage, you know, you have a little more leeway with how wiggy your wigs are.
Yeah, it was a lot of
That's true.
wig.
That's so funny.
Okay.
Cool.
25 to
All right.
20
Stay alive, 25.
Stay alive 25. Yeah, so Leanna's channel in January.
Yay.
You have until probably November, December to change your mind if you decide you don't want to do that theme or that book.
November is like a week away.
You have until December
Yeah.
to change your mind.
I think she meant the end of November, not like right now.
Yeah.
That's like Friday is November.
And now I have to like, oh man, the world is my oyster. What am I going to pick?
I know.
You have till July. You got time.
I do have time.
Yep.
I'll try to pick something I think will be good discussion.
I don't know. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen. We're gonna find out. I don't know yet. It's April for me. Who knows?
Yeah, you've got time.
You got time.
I can't think that far ahead.
Whew.
Cool. All
Well,
right.
yay.
Well, this was fun.
Huzzah.
Yeah. Another
Not-
year.
not- I think you picked a good one for discussion.
Yeah, I think so too.
Unexpectedly. So I feel like when I was reading, I was like, what are we going to talk about? Just how boring this was.
Why is it boring? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot we could do it.
I feel like it worked. Staying alive. Yes. Closing
Yeah.
out.
Yes.
And if you're in America, go vote November 5th.
Or now.
Yay! Throw
Or
it in
now.
there.
if
Go
you
vote.
can.
remember,
vote.
remember the
November
5th of November.
Yes.
Yeah.
Including
Yes.
down ballot initiatives, y'all. There's like a lot of local stuff too.
Voter turnout's been really good in Tennessee, which has one of the lowest voter turnouts in the country because we always go the same way. So
Wow.
I feel like that's great. I had to like wait when I went to early vote, which is almost never a thing.
Great. Good.
I haven't turned in my ballot, but I did do the research and I picked my answers for the ballot. So I've done the hard part.
Nice. Yes, I have done some research. We have like a ballot initiative 1 is partly protecting reproductive rights in New York State. So
Ooh.
good.
I am gonna drop. I'm having some tummy issues, so
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll end
see you
here
guys later.
anyway. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
in January on Leanna's channel. Thanks.